Listen, when a business owner is looking to increase revenue, but doesn't really know what path to go down, it can sometimes feel like turning a tank down a country lane. It can take a long time and you can feel like you're not getting anywhere, and it can be very stressful. And so that's why you have people like myself now in the role that I play here, to be able to come in as a consultant and help the business owner to figure out what to go all in on, what to focus on in order to create change, positive change. People think that what I'm going to be coming in to do is bring new ideas. Now, of course, I'm a creative-minded person. I like to think that I do see opportunities, but I always bring new ideas with a disclaimer. And the disclaimer is that a new idea can actually be a huge distraction, because what we do sometimes as business owners is we can very easily convince ourselves that we are making progress by developing on a new idea. So having an idea and thinking, right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get up, I'm going to plan this, I'm going to get these things in place, I'm going to speak to that person, I'm going to get that done by this day, and I'm going to get this new idea working, and I'm going to launch this new thing. And actually that quite often is not what the business or the business owner should be focusing on. Now, in some cases, maybe there's a lack of creativity around the table. This can be a very good thing, but in most cases, it is a distraction. It tricks us into thinking that we are actually making progress, but the progress that we're making is simply developing and incubating this new idea, rather than actually making an impact on the revenue or the profit, most importantly, of the actual business. And so, what we need to be thinking of, and what we need to focus on, and what I focus on when I'm delivering this consulting and this training, is focusing on existing opportunities. Because there are always opportunities within the business that have just become a little bit stale, that have lost momentum, that maybe don't have the level of importance that they should have, or are perhaps just not what the business owner prefers to do. Like, we all have our preferences of what we like to do, tasks and jobs and stuff like that. It might be that this sits just outside of the lane of enjoyment, and so what happens then is procrastination. And actually, the new ideas can be a form of procrastination. Just get this spelling right here. Because procrastination is doing other things when you know that there is something else that you should be doing. It's why when we're at home, we've got housework to do, we would rather do something else because it maybe bores us and we don't want to face it, we don't want to do it, but we know that we should do it. And so in the existing opportunities, we always have what we call levers. Levers can be pulled, can be moved, can be adapted, can be maneuvered in order to create different equations. If you do something the same way all the time, then you should always expect that same result. Definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing, expecting a different result. And so what we need to do instead is do things slightly differently. But instead of doing a drastic change, we might just have to do things a little bit differently. Be subtle about it. Look at some of the processes and procedures, look at some of the ways that we work, move things around a little bit, change the environment a little bit in order to create a different result. So there are always levers. There is always an existing database. And the existing database, most of the time, does not get enough communication, does not have enough marketing going out to the existing database. And so there's quite literally money, loyal money, warm lead money, sat there in the existing database, and businesses would rather not, or they're just not looking at that. Instead, they're looking for these new ideas, and it's just a backwards way of thinking. Quite often the obvious road is the best road to go down, but as business owners, we tend sometimes not to see the obvious. We tend to kind of look beyond that, look at the creative or the elaborate, or we're so much like drowning in our challenges and our problems and our stress that the obvious doesn't become obvious, right? Which is why I have this role that I play here. So we've got levers, we've got an existing database. We've also got our offers. Sometimes we can challenge, like, how are we actually formulating our offers, and how can we increase the margins without drastically having a negative impact on anything at all? How can we be more clever about that? And that could be something that we focus on. Also, we look at the sales process itself. There are always leaks. Like, you could fix your sales process on the Monday and it will be leaking just a little bit on the Tuesday, because a sales process needs continued attention and work. And so focusing on that, how long have you left it? How broken are the pipes? How many holes are there? And how many leaks are there where your leads are just falling out? You're doing all this marketing, but the sales process sucks. That isn't a good place to be. And then finally, you can look at your expenditure. And a lot of the time, business owners don't want to get down to the nitty-gritty and look at the figures. And quite often, having a consultant like myself come in and be able to say, right, listen, let's look at how much you're spending on these ads. Let's look at how much you're spending on this software. Let's look at how much you're spending on these things. How can we create some margin growth by just getting rid of the unnecessary, the things that you should have already got rid of, but you've been procrastinating, right? So in a nutshell, when you are ready to bring a coach or a consultant or some kind of third-party help into your business, be careful if they lead with new ideas. I'm telling you now, coming up with a new idea is the easiest thing ever. All you got to do is have a little bit of creativity, see a little bit of a vision, and you go, oh, what would be a good idea would be to do that and move that there and sell this thing and repackage that. And it's like, yes, that would be a great idea, thank you. And now before you know it, you're going down that road, all of this shit here is still going on, all of these opportunities here still exist, but are probably just getting worse. Your stress levels are going up, your overwhelm is going up because this is your everyday life, not that. That's just a little bit of thing that you do at night when you're already stressed, and you hinge all your hope and dreams on these new ideas, and then they flop anyway because they haven't got the foundation. The person that was explaining these ideas to you doesn't have the same skin in the game, doesn't understand the business as best as you, does not get it and feel it. In most cases, definitely doesn't get it and feel it like you do, but it's likely that, unfortunately, consultants and coaches maybe haven't ran their own company. I'm not talking about being self-employed. There's this kind of buzz around coaching and consulting that we're all entrepreneurs. But an entrepreneur is someone who goes to a business, does a thing, moves to the next, does a thing, moves to the next, does a thing, in my opinion. And so we are talking to, in a lot of cases, a self-employed, creative, free-thinking person, which can be amazing, of course it can, and very beneficial. But it can also mean that they don't get this stuff and they don't see the obvious opportunities, and they think that their value and their worth is in coming up with new ideas. I can come up with new ideas for you all day long, but I'm always going to have a disclaimer attached to them. I will push for the one that I think is going to make a massive difference and not cause you stress and overwhelm. I will push for that if it's there. But most of the time, initially anyway, we're going to fix the levers, the existing database, the offers, the sales process, the money that you're spending, and then you're going to have more margin. You're going to have less financial strain without doing anything new. It's just going to sign your soul away, at least for another few weeks of developing around the clock. Take your eye off the ball, what's already going on and what's really causing you these problems. So, listen, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I went on a bit of a rant there, but I'm very passionate about the difference that I can bring to the table and the difference that my company can bring you in terms of the way that we work. Not just as a consultant, and my role as a business development consultant, but Tide 55, the digital marketing agency that I help to run, and that I'm working with clients from all different industries every day. We do things differently. We have skin in the game, we understand. And so if there's any help that we can give you, we can help you with your marketing. We can be an outsourced marketing department for you. We can run individual projects around your SEO, your Google ads, your Facebook ads, your social media, your email marketing. But in terms of all this stuff and my input, I can work with you as a private consultant and help you understand what to do, how to do it, and hold you accountable. So we want to get to the situation where we're earning more, wasting less, and fulfilling potential. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.